was wondering if you'd also like to talk about nutrition after the baby's born.
Yeah.
Are you planning on breastfeeding?
Yeah, I hope to be able to breastfeed for sure.
Have you had any previous experience with breastfeeding?
My sister breastfed her son until he was 6 months old. I know she had a bit of a hard time at the beginning, but she got there in the end. But it's really important to me to be able to breastfeed. I guess I'm just a little bit worried that I won't be able to. Yeah.
Your concerns about being able to breastfeed are fairly normal, and lots of pregnant women have those same concerns.
Yeah.
But breastfeeding is natural, but it's still a learned skill that may take some time to master. A number of people can help support you with the breastfeeding, including midwives and lactation consultants at the hospital.
Yep.
And there's also a lot of information about breastfeeding on the Australian Breastfeeding Association website and the Raising Children Network website. And I can also give you a booklet to read which goes through the process of breastfeeding if you like.
Yeah, thanks. That'd be good.
Okay. Can you tell me what you already know about nutrition for breastfeeding?
Not a lot really. I just know that, breast milk is a whole food for babies. It's all that they need, but I don't know.
So breastfeeding has benefits for you and the baby.
Okay.
And for the baby, there's a reduced risk of infections, asthma, and even childhood obesity. And breastfeeding also is associated with reducing the risk of ovarian and breast cancer for women.
Okay. Yeah.
The current guidelines recommend exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months.
Yeah.
And then to continue to breastfeed while introducing solids in that 12 to 24 month age until mum and baby are both ready to wean.
Okay.
Is that along the lines of what you've heard before?
Yeah, well, I know my sister introduced solids with her son when he was 4 months, so that fits in with the almost 6 months.
Well, they do.
Guidelines?
The guidelines recommend around 6 months to ensure the baby's system is ready to start digesting food. It used to be from 4 to 6 months.
Okay.
But now we recommend closer to 6 months.
Okay.
And that reduces the risk of having diarrhea from bugs in the food that the baby's immune system is unable to cope with.
Okay.
And research also shows that infants adjust more quickly to solids at 6 months rather than earlier. So exclusive breastfeeding can also reduce the risk of babies developing allergies.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Have you heard anything about diet or supplements while breastfeeding?
Not really. I know that my pregnancy multivitamin does say on it that it's for breastfeeding as well, but I don't really know much about it.
Well, firstly, it's important to have a well-balanced diet, following the dietary guidelines, as we discussed earlier. And it's also recommended that breastfeeding women take a supplement containing iodine, as it's difficult to get enough iodine from the food that you eat to meet the increased needs while breastfeeding.
Okay, so that means I should keep taking that pregnancy multivitamin?
Yes, because there's no iodine-only supplement, and it won't harm you to have the multivitamin while you're breastfeeding. It's only really the iodine that you need, but it's not going to hurt you anyway. Have you seen the dietary guidelines before?
Yeah, I think you gave me the brochure on that earlier. Yeah.
So the nutrition requirements are similar during breastfeeding.
Okay.
But it's recommended that you have an additional 2.5 serves of vegetables and half a serve of grain foods to meet extra needs while breastfeeding. Where do you think you could fit these extra serves in your current diet?
I guess I could have, some Vita-Weats with cheese or something in the afternoon, but I don't really know how I could increase my vegetables by that much. That seems like a lot of vegetables that I'm going to be eating.
What about having a mug of vegetable soup in the afternoon for a snack, or vegetables like cooked tomatoes, spinach or mushrooms with toast for breakfast? Would something like that suit?
Yeah, I guess I like pumpkin soup, so I could try and have a mug of pumpkin soup during the day. But I also wanted to ask you, what about alcohol and caffeine while I'm breastfeeding? A lot of people say a lot of different things about that. Yeah.
Not drinking alcohol is the safest option, especially during pregnancy. In regards to breastfeeding.
Yeah.
If you find it too difficult to go without alcohol, we can talk about the timing of the alcohol in relation to breastfeeding.
Okay.
And in general, it's probably best to have a drink after you've given the baby the last breastfeed of the evening, so that the baby's going to have a long sleep.
Okay.
Yeah. And in regard to the amount of caffeine you drink, about 3 cups a day is the recommended.
Okay. I think I can
limit.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And you can also speak to another healthcare worker or myself at a later date if you want more details
Okay.
about
thanks.
that. So you're feeling confident about your decision to breastfeed after all that?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Anything else you'd like to talk about in regards to nutrition during breastfeeding?
I don't think so. I think you've answered my questions for today for sure.